listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Morning.
Morning.
Hey, Frank.
Enjoyed your turn on website there.
Well, you know, it's just, I mean, it's an amazing thing when you think about it, a website.
It is.
Didn't have them.
I wasn't expecting this morning to start with that revelation.
Is this another of our late reviews?
You know, you
Websites.
click on a thing, you get a whole new thing called.
Whole new world.
Yeah.
A whole new world.
Oh, I'd love it if you and Kath performed that.
Oh, we don't have the abdomens. She might have. I don't know. It's been a while. But I tell you, I went and saw that West End musical. I saw some of the best abdomens of it, male and female alike.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is Aladdin. You loved Aladdin.
Oh, it was a six-pack fest. Apart from the Genie, as always, I think.
Little on the curvy
one
side.
anticipates
Well, the Genie loves their
You don't want a shredded genie, though, do you? You don't want them like all lean, like they've been doing insanity
Well, they can
workouts.
be.
If I was going to live in a small drinking vessel.
You don't want to take up all that space.
But why is it that we think of the Genie as being fat when he's,
Also,
he's
if you're
essentially a spirit creature?
If you're going to live in a small vessel, find some different shoes.
Well, exactly.
Come on, they're impractical.
I've always fancied a pair of curly-toed.
Oh, yeah.
Do people still wear them in the real world, or has it become a?
Well, Christmas is coming, so...
Yeah. Well, of course the elves wear them.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, the elves love a curly shoe.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind some of those. You know those Japanese socks with the individual toe thing going on?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Do you mean the actual individual toe or just the big toe and then four? So you get socks that are like that?
You're thinking of a foot mitten.
Am I?
Yeah. That's what yeah. I have mine on one long string. My foot mittens goes up around my neck so I don't lose them. Good. Just put a bit of loose change in one. I'll tell you this, I stayed this week, or certainly since I was last on. It's 10 days ago now, if I want to be precise. I stayed at the Hotel of Wine.
Oh, yes.
Do you know Hotel de Van?
I do know.
Is that what you call it?
Well, that's what it...
He's doing a sort of Matt LeBlanc. You know how we call Matt LeBlanc Matt the White?
No, but it is called the Hotel of Wine.
Yeah.
I mean,
I get it now.
yeah. You know what their slogan is? I wrote this down. Their slogan is, money can't buy happiness unless you spend it on wine.
Oh. That's tricky for you.
Yeah, that is tricky
with
for
your
me.
eschewing of the demon
I think
drink.
it can buy psychological desolation. What about that?
Also,
Less catchy as a slogan.
Yeah, and also too deep.
You don't want that written up on the bar that you're in, do you?
no, I prefer a simple, you don't have to be mad to work here, but it helps.
Yeah.
I also wrote something else down this week. I'm actually looking at the notes on my phone. I saw an advert for Nescafe, the popular coffee.
Interesting intonation.
What?
Nescafe. Oh,
Yeah.
no, you got it. Nescafe.
Nescafe, yeah. And it
What
says,
do you say? Nescaf?
I say Nescafe, but he
That's the
says...
same.
No, he says Nescafe.
yeah. So, okay. Well, anyway.
Like cafe.
Anyway. It's like the ageism on this show. It's terrible. So this is something that was said on this advert. Unironically.
Okay.
Your first coffee is the most important thing on earth.
Oh, I hate people that say things
What
like
are you
that.
talking about?
Well, it's the people with the Garfield coasters going, coffee.
Yeah, I need some caffeine. No, you don't. You need some strychnine. Oh, dear. It's a drink.
People that say in interviews, Frank, what's the first thing you do in the morning? A vat of coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no. I mean, please, if you're listening, and even if you love coffee, stop saying that.
Stop going on about coffee.
And also, when I was a kid, people drank coffee, fine, especially if they'd been to, say, youth clubs.
Yeah.
It was still a bit...
clubs.
It was still a slight novelty coffee. It was still... If someone said... If you say to someone, do you want a cup of tea? And they said, I wouldn't mind a coffee if you got it. You think, oh, hoity-toity. But
Now, Frank, the builders, my Polish builder said the other day, you got latte?
Wow.
I mean, that's
come
exactly.
on.
What's happened now is people like to think they know about coffee.
Yeah.
So people say, oh, they do a great cup of coffee there. No, they just do a cup of coffee.
I had builders once that brought their own coffee. He said, I don't really want your coffee. I'm something of a coffee snob.
And then he got out the Nescafe.
Yeah. And they listen to Six Music. That's the kind of builders that we're talking about there.
Yeah.
And if you made him a cup of tea and asked him how he liked it, did he say builders?
Oh, yeah, that would have been a good point.
Yeah. Builders coffee. Has ever even heard of that?
Never.
Anyway, coffee. Can I just tell our loyal readers that coffee is not a thing to know about? History, literature, science, even if you like. But you don't know about coffee. It just is.
Science gets a begrudging admission.
It's like knowing about
I guess.
milk. Oh, yeah, I know quite a lot about milk. Shut up.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We were just having a discussion. Get this. I was saying that Jimmy Carr gave me a throat coat. Would be a great tabloid headline.
Yeah.
But a throat coat is a type of tea which is good for your throat because it coats it.
Does it coat the vocal folds?
I think probably
Yeah.
it does. I think in this weather you need throat overcoat.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, and we were talking about tea that isn't tea that's drinkable.
Mm-hmm.
But all fruit teas.
It's a short list for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basically throat coat now, just in,
Uh-huh.
new
Yeah.
entry, and fennel tea.
Fennel's still got everything to play for.
Yeah. So fennel, the popular... Well, no, it's not a popular vegetable. It's alternative, the alternative vegetable for thinking eaters. Still not. There'll be people listening and say, fennel, what's there? Try it. It's actually all right. And I said... I'd like to work out the best fennel tea available. And I'd do that by holding a fennel tea shootout.
Yes, you did say that.
And the producer said,
Come on.
oh, you should have said that on air. That was fantastic.
Don't keep that gold to
She's
yourself.
Yeah, so there you are. I did say, and I don't often repeat the gold that happens during the
I don't
music.
think.
Well,
you
it's
know
not as
what, Frank?
broadcastable usually, is
No, that's true, and a lot of it is vindictive in the extreme.
Oh, it'd be at least libelous, I think.
Minimum.
Frank, I've got to say, I think we'll be doing this show nigh on 10 years. Sounded like an innkeeper then in a horror film. But I don't think the producer's ever said that before.
No.
And I'm just intrigued as to why fennel tea was the one she chose.
First bit of praise. I'll tell you what I think it is. Sadly, the producer leaves us next week.
I
And I think
know.
one eye on the leaving present was that compliment. And of course, it's not that expensive, fennel tea. So we're sorted. Absolutely sorted. Actually, speaking of Daisy, the producer, she was also saying that in that break, I mean, it was a great... I wish you'd heard
great
it.
break.
It's much better than the link.
We had the mics down.
I feel
looking
we've
back.
got-
Put that out as a show, just like 10 great breaks.
Well, we don't record that, you see. I mean,
yeah.
the trouble with this show,
You say that.
the cart's pulling the horse. Anyway, she was saying that a builder had said to her, I'd like a Earl Grey, please, when offered a drink. That's how much Britain has changed. No, I'm not saying that's necessarily for the worse. It sounds like a certain finesse to me. Do they still have it builders? Like really strong
Really?
Earl Grey tea?
Yeah.
Is that? Can you get really strong Earl Grey tea?
Don't know. It'd take a while, wouldn't it?
Well, I don't
You
like...
say, I'll have Earl Grey, please, and a bit of extra bergamot. A bit of extra burger. Okay, you got it.
What's the opposite of the builders? Clients, presumably.
Yeah, clients tea.
Yeah, that's
Very
weak.
thin.
The clients is
Very
weak.
thin, but very expensive. And then the whole thing falls to pieces. after etc. And then Emily was saying, I'm going to tell you the whole thing.
I mean, let's just have a total recap.
The people think Total Recap, that would have been a good... The sequel to Total Recall should have been called Total Recap.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then...
What did I say?
You were saying that people think they're so cool if they say stuff about coffee, which is true. And can I tell you something? I once worked at a place in Soho, and a bloke took one of the women out to talk about some business thing at lunchtime. And he went into a restaurant, and there was an Italian waitress. He was an English bloke.
Yeah.
And he said to her, do you want a coffee? And she said, I'll have a cappuccino. He said, me too. And he said, scusi. He said, do a cappuccino. He was finished at that company. She came back and told everybody. And people really turned against that, though. Honestly, his name was dirt at that company. He didn't last much longer because of that one piece of affectation. God, people can be very strict.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
So anyway, I was at the Hotel of Wine.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you remember. That's where I was staying. And they gave me when I checked in. They gave me my key. And they said, you're in Cunarioca.
I said, what?
I'm in New Zealand.
No, I said, well, how do you even spell that? And she says, I'll write it down for you. And she started writing it down. She said, Paul, how do you spell Cunarioca? And he went, oh, it's, hold on a minute. And he looked, and I said, what? But... this is the trouble with Hotel de Van. No disrespect. They're lovely hotels, but they don't have numbers on the doors. They have the names of wine.
Stupid system.
Big old key it's on as well.
I said, so how do I find it? And she said, it's if you turn right at it's the one after Closmogador. I said, yeah, but that's not a chronological system, Closmogador to Cunarioca. That's random. It's not like if I'm looking for 8 and I see 5, I think, keep going down. I don't think, there's Closmogador. Surely Cunarioca cannot be far away. It's a terrible system.
At the very least, they could have them split between white and reds.
Well,
you knew what floor you were on.
Absolute minimum.
Oh, they do.
The suites tend to be a bit more along the Chateauneuf-du-Pape. Yes, they go up the wines in value.
Well,
I think there's a Cristal somewhere. I
went to one once and there was only a sparkling available. It was very busy.
Have you ever stayed in the Babycham suite? The Cyprus, all right.
I've stayed in a few Hotel de Vans and I do like them, but I once said to someone, I've had this problem before because I don't even drink wine. I don't know the names of wines and that rubbish.
Also, point of order, Frank.
It's like coffee. Who cares about it?
I don't like wine bores. I hate wine bores.
Anyway, and I like all sorts of bores, but not wine bores. Anyway, I think I was in Bristol Hotel de Van, and I said, why don't you get numbers? I've had this conversation 10 times in Hotel of Wine.
Difficult customer. Much.
And this bloke said, well, so we have numbers for the cleaners. I said, well, you have numbers? He said, yeah, but we don't tell customers. I said, well, what number is mine? He said, you're in 13. I thought, well, there's a thing.
Yeah.
I might not have wanted to be in
13.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, I was in whatever it was, Blue Non. I think it was. Anyway, I found my room in the end. It was a nice room. It's a bit of a knotty aftertaste.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
We've had some builders getting in touch, Frank.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all good.
Okay.
This is from 410. I'm a builder. We work in St Albans. Mainly I drink decaf tea. and get laughed at by my customers for it, as I'm meant to be a big burly builder.
Yeah.
That's from Dave and Paul sitting outside Simmons drinking decaf tea.
I like they're sitting outside Simmons. Are they drinking it from styrofoam cups? Is it like a stakeout?
2 cops.
What is Simmons? Is that some sort of building supply?
Sounds like a building supplies,
It
doesn't
might
it?
be one of the rivals to some of the ones promoted on our station.
Oh, yeah. Could be.
Oh, could it be? What, do we promote building supplies?
Oh, yeah.
Not us particularly, but...
We don't.
Travis Perkins.
That sort of thing, yeah.
I always think he should have been a 50s rock star, shouldn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Travis. Oh, yeah. Is it 2 people, Travis Perkins, or is it one bloke called Travis
I
Perkins?
think it's that. I think it's
I'd
one
like-
bloke called Travis Perkins.
I'd like to see a picture of Travis Perkins. Speaking of celebrities, I've had a letter from Boilerman.
Have you?
Yeah, the West Bromwich Albion.
Oh, I know.
He's sponsor-based mascot.
Who he is.
Obsessed.
Yeah,
Who Boilerman is.
and they've sent me a cuddly combi, so to speak.
I couldn't believe it when you opened that.
A little cuddly Boilerman.
Have they?
And in fact, they've sent me what they call a Boilerman bundle,
Oh, great.
which is like, a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I think there might
I've
be an
never
air
been so
freshener.
jealous in my whole life. Genuinely.
Oh, surely you've been more jealous. than
No, that's the most
I've
jealous.
never been so insulted in all my life. So, yeah, he's got his own headed notepaper,
Nice.
Boilerman.
I love him.
But,
It's amazing what they can do now, isn't it?
Yeah.
yes, so, yeah, that's good.
I wonder how much he charges, what his going rate for appearances is now, Boilerman.
Do you think he's doing
outside of club work,
on
you
the
know?
same sort of circuit as the Cheeky Girls?
Yeah, or sort of a white
Personal
power,
appearance.
white Power Ranger. That sort of level, I think.
Yeah, I think laundry must be involved, because those tights at a personal appearance where there's a lot of drinks swirling about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't want to stop at the Hotel of Wine in that outfit.
You're right.
That'd be a very bad
Oh,
idea.
yeah.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We had Odysseus, we hear from now and again. He's back.
Oh, yes.
It's okay. And he sent us a golden fleece that he... No, he didn't. He sent us...
Poor old
We're
Penelope.
getting Homeric references here. Now, Odysseus sent us a sort of pop art picture of the 3 of us together.
He's one of our regulars, Art and Hugh, by the way. That's
Yes.
his company.
Yes.
Oh, it's his company.
Yeah, he makes interesting...
He's not called Art and Hugh.
No,
Right.
but that's his company. He does things like What Would Steed Do?
Oh,
which
okay.
I rather like, with a picture of Steed.
Oh,
Is
that's
it John Steed?
John Steeves, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Google it,
and,
millennials.
Yeah, well, it's still on, I think.
Is it?
And there's always that
Steed.
thing. Now, here's those big moments when you're
Yes.
told things and everyone knows them and people tell you as if it's like a big thing you've never heard before. The example we always give is that Gary Oldman is the brother of Big Mo from EastEnders, and that's why it's called a big moment.
Yeah.
Does this qualify the fact
on.
that Emma Peel from the Avengers got her character name because it's M Appeal, short for Man Appeal? Did you know that?
I
No,
did not.
I didn't know that.
Oh well, sorry. If I was with
It's
the
not
cult,
qualified.
if I was with the cult crowd,
Yeah.
they would all say, "No." Everybody knows
Crowd.
that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows
What's
that.
happening, Doctor Who friends?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they'd know that.
They'd all know it for sure. Yeah, it's Man Appeal. Whatever happened to Man Appeal? That's gone, hasn't it?
8, 12, 15.
Are you allowed to have Man Appeal now, Emily?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed, but I've got it.
I know, but
What can I do?
Is it a thing that one shouldn't aspire to anymore?
Oh, it's fine. That's the great thing about getting old, darling. You can do what you want.
I think with the gender fluidity, you want sort of people appeal, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I think
Right.
it's got so
Non-gender
complicated.
specific appeal,
Then
maybe.
she'd have been
Producer looks like she might cry if you keep this level of thinking going.
Pippa Peel. She'd have had to have been called then. Pippa Peel sound.
The producer's thinking, oh, why can't he get back to those nice coffee stories?
Yeah. Well, she'll miss this when she's gone. That knot in the stomach. Of where is this going?
Absolute Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Trevor Barton has been in touch
Trev.
to say once you'd found and checked into your room at Hotel Duvan, I bet it was full-bodied. Okay,
Nice.
like that?
Trev on.
Well, it wasn't. It was just me.
Okay.
Those days are gone. Trevor.
I did my
Not
Friday night trawl of
me
looking
there.
through the emails that we
I
received
forgot
yesterday.
that existed.
Hi Frank, DME and Alan. First time emailer, long time reader. I've waited almost an entire year for this and was so excited to email. Last year you were talking about alternative toppings for Christmas trees. I couldn't email at the time as I was listening to the podcast post-show and it would just be odd. But I have on the top of my tree, they've waited a year, I have on the top of my tree a large picture of the Manchester City forward Gabriel Jesus.
Oh, I see where they're coming from. They've kept it
Jesus,
religious. Yeah.
I like
I
that.
feel this justifies the wait. I wish I could attach the pic. Yours sincerely, lots of love. Praise redacted. Tommy, 42 years old. P.S. I don't support Man City. I'm a Hartlepool fan.
I thought. I bet he's got
Just
some.
that bit
I
of
bet he's got
detail.
some monkeys hanging on the tree. For the people who got that, congratulations. Yeah, that's a good alternative.
You going to explain it, or are you just going to let them
What the?
Google it?
Oh, to hell. Well, yeah,
Let them Google it.
yeah. Let them, I mean, it's also. I think people from Hartlepool don't like it, do they?
Yeah, I think they have mixed feelings about that.
The story. Look, I'll tell you very quickly.
Sorry.
I don't like to encourage googling. Keep your screen time down. That's my advice.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Just going to write that
the
down.
phone now has started telling me my screen time. Have you heard
Oh,
that?
yes.
Oh, yes, it tells you how long you've been
I
on
thought
it.
that's a mistake,
Yeah.
isn't it? 'Cause
Terrible idea.
It's made me use it less.
Yeah.
It's sort of an advertisement for using things less.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so apparently this is the story, and I might have this exactly right, but there was a travelling menagerie of some kind, whenever it would be, maybe even medieval, I don't know when. I'm not claiming I do. A monkey escaped. I think it was a chimpanzee. And it got into Hartlepool, and the residents of Hartlepool, when they heard it chattering, believed it to be French and a French spy, and so they hanged it. Now, I believe it's a true story, but I mean, you never know.
Is that the end to the story?
Well, most hangings, that tends to be it.
Oh, I thought there might be, but it was all, woke up and it was all a dream or a joke. No, ended with a hanging.
The idea of a chimpanzee after it's died just hanging there limply. It's awful, isn't
How are
it?
you going to get out of this?
It's really awful. I wonder if it's... Would you say... What is the question? 8, 12,
Where have
15.
you taken us?
8, 12, 15. If you hang the chimpanzee...
Oh, no.
Which would hang lower, its hands or its feet? Look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, me too.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner. Is that what I say normally? It's the Frank Skinner show.
There you go.
do I
This
say?
is Frank Skinner.
Oh, yeah, with Emily Dean, thanks, and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 8 12 15, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, email the show via the Absolute Radio website. It just felt wrong, man.
I think you so fully inhabited that little character moment of Bono.
Yeah.
that you then-
Bono. That was supposed to be The Edge.
Oh, was it the Edge?
That was the Edge.
I was
What?
one out.
Bit racist.
And then you
Bono
couldn't
is
get
more.
back in.
Bono is more. Now, what happened to that there? Wouldn't that be a terrible thing?
Oh, he's
Totally different.
Roy Walker.
Totally different.
Just say what you see.
We've had, you were asking a question regarding chimps earlier, I believe, on the show. Is that correct?
Yes. Can you still call them chimps?
Oh, you're not allowed?
so.
I think it's all right.
The PG Tips monkeys had a go at speaking French, says 740.
Oh, yes.
they?
Avez-vous copper was one of their...
Well, they didn't have much of a go then.
and one of them had a black striped jumper on, and I think they had a sort of a prop Eiffel
Does it have
Tower
a
in the background.
beret?
They went the whole hog.
It was the sort of Tony Hancock idea of being French.
Exactly, yeah.
And what was that movie, Frank?
There's that one
Sorry,
in,
hospital pass for you there, but
when he plays the artist. Is it called the artist?
The something, anyway.
Yeah.
You've just reminded me of a thing that happened to me recently, that I think my phone thinks I'm more down to earth and less educated than I might be. I tried to send a message using the phrase mea culpa,
Oh, yeah.
which I think is Latin,
Yes.
and it autocorrected to mea cuppa. So the phone's
lovely.
obviously thought, he's obviously talking about tea. He's not doing Latin.
We have been talking about tea, though. Do you think that might have affected it? Because you know that
It's
they
always
all
on.
listen in.
Oh.
They listen in to our conversations and then send adverts accordingly. That's what they're...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just had an alert.
That's what Sarah told me, our assistant producer.
Yeah. She's probably listening
She
now.
told me in strictest confidence. But, yeah. So apparently, like, if I'm talking now, where's my phone? Let me see.
Over there.
Well, let's say... Oh, yeah. So I'm talking now and I'll say to you,
Oh, will you?
Don't know where this is going to go.
my armpits are in
Oh.
a terrible state. Then I look at Who News to see what's in, and if there's any early reviews for tomorrow's
yes.
show. And there's an advert for Brut 33 or some other
Brut 33.
some other such eau de cologne. There'll be something eau de cologne.
33. Do they still sell that?
I
Even?
think they sell it in like those massive bargain stores, that kind of
Where
thing.
the plastic's a bit smeary.
You know what I mean? It was.
I know
that
what
was
you mean,
that.
darling.
But Route 30 was a motif.
Yeah.
Yes,
Or,
it was, and we
yeah.
understand.
I'm
Yeah.
not judging you. I'm still a fan of Old Spice.
But I know.
Like
But the
it.
point is,
Yeah.
yes, they can hear us, Frank.
Well, that's what the theory
Yeah.
is, that they hear us and that's how they do the adverts.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's brilliant. I do.
You love it.
I love the fact that I can put my phone on and
Yeah.
there'll be like a TARDIS shaped prophylactic available. Which I probably would never have found out about.
Oh
No.
my days!
Might you be a bit nervous if mid-act you heard gone, and never call me mother. Am I having a breakdown?
Hey, 12:15.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
Just thinking, if they had have hanged a monkey in Hartlepool
Oh.
and it was hanging there, they got very red bottoms.
Yeah.
I just wanted to imagine a big line of traffic in Hartlepool with people thinking it was a red. It was a traffic light. I said, start this one. Must be one of those temporary traffic lights.
Okay, everyone.
People flash their lights at those temporary traffic lights, don't they? There's like
Do they?
there's an urban myth, I think. I think it's an urban
Is
myth.
that right?
That if you flash your lights at temporary traffic lights, it thinks that it's a siren and goes to green.
Oh, I'm going to try that.
right?
I mean, I think this is an urban myth, but
That's
someone will tell
worth-
us.
That's
You know
worth knowing.
You know how most radio stations do like travel bulletins? We do travel chaos.
Yeah.
Travel urban myth.
Travel cheating. Dangerous travel cheating. And now it's over. We should have a young woman that comes in and we can say, "Oh, it's over to Karen with dangerous travel cheating." Thanks a lot, Frank. If you flash your... that'd be great.
Oh, I
And
had
if
a
you
thing.
want to avoid speed cameras, I've got a great tip for you. They could do that every week
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
I used to
That'd be
say
good.
put hairspray on your license plate. Didn't they?
Genuinely giving them to us.
That's what people said. I don't know if it works.
Does that work as well?
Oh, I
People
might do that.
claimed that it made the license
reflects
plate
off
reflect back off, so the picture didn't show. But I think it's nonsense. I think it's one of those things.
Well, but worth a try.
But I got a genuinely good tip off my neighbour the other day. I got out my car and I'd been driving back with
Are
the
they
back
the ones with the
windows
pampas grass? I've seen
open a
them.
little bit. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'd had the back windows open. I don't know if you've ever had this. I got out, I closed the door of the car, locked it, and then realised one back window is halfway down.
You ever closed the door with the window open? Horrible, thin kind of a click to it 'cause it doesn't have the
Oh,
full
yes, I
cylinder.
know
yeah.
that. Yeah. Oh, it's
But
repulsive.
that-
this
yeah,
wasn't the
is-
front window.
that's
and then
annoying.
I
You
looked
switched it
at it
off
and I
and
thought, oh God, I'm going to have to get right back in there,
Mm.
put the key in, and then press. And my
mean, it's
neighbour
not
was
that much
walking.
work.
Well, it is annoying though,
Okay.
because
It
I'm
is.
irritable.
No, it is annoying.
Okay.
My neighbour was walking past at that moment and he went, oh, if your car was a Mercedes, all you'd have to do is press the middle button and it goes up. And I went, oh, God. And then I looked at my car key and I thought, well, my car's German. I'll give it a go.
And
Did it. It only worked.
Is that right?
Just pressed the middle button and it went right up. And he saved me probably 30 seconds and at least 3 years' worth of residual anger, I think.
Well,
about that window
my
going
car
up.
is a Mercedes, and I've never known what that middle button was for.
It's for locking the car, isn't it?
Oh,
the middle
okay.
button.
I've often wondered what that middle button is.
You've just got a driver, haven't you? You don't bother.
Yeah. What if someone had been having a wee in that window and the window had suddenly gone up impromptu?
Yes, so it's
It would
served
have
right
been,
for
it would have
using
been
my
like
car
the
as a
French
toilet.
Revolution in reverse.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
432 has texted us, Frank. Whatever happened to TV repairman?
Yeah, that used to be a bloke who'd come round the house and mend your telly when it...
That's what Mick said. They used to come around your house and take your old box 3-channel TV apart.
Yeah, it's true.
From
I don't-
Granada, I
don't-
think.
I don't know what... All radio rentals.
Yeah, radio
Three
rentals.
channels.
But I'll tell you something else. The vertical hold. That used to be a
hold.
thing. The most common fault on those tellies was the picture would start rolling really quickly. It's a very unsettling visual image. And they used to come and they'd say it's your vertical hold, or whatever that was. And then they'd go, and suddenly the picture would stop. Sometimes it would stop halfway and they'd have to steadily adjust it till it fitted.
This must
Does that
be
mean
really
something
early.
different in the grappling community?
Vertical hold, yeah,
Yeah.
it's deadly. You've got to be really
Yeah.
careful of a vertical hold. I don't remember vertical holds being a problem, but I do remember the phrase "the tube's gone."
Oh, yeah.
People used to say the tube's gone. I don't even know if tellies have got a
I
tube
think it's
anymore.
finished then if the tube goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would have been good at that, Frank, that job.
My mum
Fixing
used to
tellies.
say, I could tell people, I bet they said to women in bars, I work in television. That's bad. You know, my mum said to me that she often fantasised about when the kettle was boiling, of just taking the boiling kettle and pouring it in down the grid on the back of the television.
I wonder why that was then.
People had smaller dreams.
Did she hate
Now
the
they
telly?
all want to be celebrities and
Yeah.
stuff. Then they were happy to just pour up boiling water down the back of a television.
Did she hate the television and its effect
Well,
on
it's
society?
it's a good question. Why did she? I think it was just a rebellious and wildness that was maybe missing in our
Yeah.
mundane working class life.
Speaking of the working classes,
Yeah.
I'd like to bring up the Duchess.
It's all right with me, sir.
Duchess of whatever she is. Cambridge. Duchess of Cambridge.
The Duchess.
You know,
Yeah.
she took her daughter, little...
Oh,
Princess
not the
Charlotte.
Duchess.
Charlotte.
Is the
Princess
Duchess on the Chase as well?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
No, different Duchess.
Yeah.
The other one. She popped into a South London boozer,
Oh,
as
yeah.
it
Yeah.
says in the tabloids.
Does it spell it S-A-R-F?
I hope so. And she took her daughter for a toilet break. She just went into a pub.
When you say her daughter, fourth in line to the throne.
Fourth in line to
Excuse
the
me.
throne.
Fourth in line to the
What, there was a
throne.
queue in there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'd like to announce my retirement.
Brilliant. I wish you'd said it a bit later. I'd have gone straight into music.
Oh,
Because how are we going to follow that?
I know.
Yes. That's it's an interesting thing to do. It said, first of all, a female plainclothes detective
Yeah.
went into the pub. And I thought, oh, yeah, would you be talking about their clothes if it was a bloke?
Yeah.
I thought.
Good point.
Anyway, and
It's called the Phoenix in Stockwell, we should say.
yeah.
The South London boozer.
Yes.
Yes.
And the plainclothes police woman went into the toilet ahead to check out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. You tell me. To flush, almost certainly to flush.
Flush out any problems.
Get a wet wipe out.
Wipe the seat. Yeah, I should
Uh-huh.
think. I would guess probably had a Sharpie. And did a bit of graffiti censorship.
Yeah.
I bet you. I'm not kidding. I bet they
Maybe
would.
put up some pro-royal graffiti.
I don't think. Yeah, exactly. We love the royal family. I bet you she went in and did that. I did a bit of occasional work at the Birmingham Hippodrome.
Uh-huh.
Which occasionally the Queen attended there for, I don't know, stuff like ballet stuff,
All right.
like the
Slightly
Queen.
contemptuous voice.
Well,
and
the
stuff
Queen.
like that.
The sort of stuff the Queen goes to.
Oh.
And there was a royal box there, and an adjoining toilet, and on the night, a man would arrive. I think it was always a man, and he'd have a carrier bag thing with a toilet seat in it. And just before the performance, they'd go in and take off the normal toilet seat and put in the Queen's toilet seat.
Is that right?
And then at the end of it, after she'd gone, he would take that seat so that no one could say, "Oh, I've been on the same,
Right.
I've been on the same toilet seat as the Queen."
Oh,
So,
well,
yeah,
that's,
it
that's
was
slightly annoying because I've used the Queen's toilet at the Royal Albert Hall, and I thought I'd used the same toilet seat as the Queen.
No.
Oh well, not to worry.
Well, I used the Duke of Edinburgh's toilet
Did you?
seat, yeah, at the Royal Albert Hall when I did that thing, and I'm 7 months pregnant. Make of that what you will.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I used to live next door to a bloke called Ernie, and he used to go around on a Saturday and Sunday morning to all the local public toilets very early in the morning, because his theory was that people who were drunk Friday and Saturday night would go to those toilets and when they took their trousers down, the change would come out of their pockets and they wouldn't hear it because they were so drunk. And he always said, I did made about 12 shillings this week.
Lovely, dignified way to earn a living.
Opportunity.
What does your dad do?
Yeah, he's
Scrabbles around on toilet floors with drunk people's change.
only on a Saturday and Sunday morning. He wouldn't.
It was a weekend.
There's no point
It
doing
wasn't
midweek.
worth it in
There's
the
not
week.
enough money sloshing around midweek, is there?
I wanted to talk to you about. Can I ask your advice on
Okay.
something? How can I put this? When I go to the toilet,
Okay.
I've taken. some people read on the toilet.
Oh yeah.
We're talking on now rather than in.
Yes.
Yeah.
People read, and I write sometimes on the toilet. Yeah, would you find that's acceptable?
What do you want with a pencil and a notepad?
Yeah, I don't want a laptop.
Do you cross your legs
Do I cross my legs
whilst
like that?
you're writing?
No.
Okay, I've seen.
Who do you think I am, Mr. Whippy?
I've just seen that before.
Oh, have you really?
You've
I've
seen it.
seen men do that.
On the toilet?
And they need to close the door for a start.
Yeah, exactly, and let you out first. Anyway, I have taken to... I've started having a cup of tea.
No.
On the toilet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that normal?
It's not normal or nice.
Hang
It's
on.
a bit
I
grim.
do love a cup of tea.
You like it?
So hang on, does the tea get brought to you by your mother-in-law or
No,
something?
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no. I take my. I take the tea in and that put it on the sink in front and just drink. Have a nice cup of tea.
Takes his own brew.
How long are you in there for?
Well, it depends, obviously,
Okay,
but I like to
okay.
get through the tea.
Wow.
It's a mad race between the act and the tea to see what finishes first.
How do you feel about the act, Alan?
I feel
But
there's
is
a
it-
hygiene issue that needs to be addressed.
What's
here.
the hygiene?
Well, you're taking a cup of tea into the least clean room of the house, if you catch my drift.
I believe that they say, don't they, it's the flushing that causes the problems. They
Right.
say you should cover your toothbrush before you flush.
And they reckon
Oh.
put the lid down, don't they?
Put the lid down, they say. Well, I could have my tea in a stein, I suppose. Oh, you mean the toilet lid? Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Actually, that would be a great idea for a novelty toilet, an enormous stein.
Oh, yeah.
Have So I don't think. So the mass dispersal is caused by the flushing. So I think drinking tea during. I mean, I'd love to know if it's a commonplace. If people do it.
Yeah.
Well, what else? What is, why is it reading okay, but drinking tea not okay?
Yeah, I mean, arguably some people will have problems with both, but
Yes.
we don't want to be guided by those health and safety nuts, do we?
What about a chicken dinner?
Too much.
Too much, you think? Yeah, I'd be worried about the placemat.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
We've been discussing bathroom breaks, and in reference to the Duchess of Cambridge
Yes.
taking the Princess Charlotte.
Can I ask you a question? You're a
You can if you like.
parent.
All right, yeah.
I know your kids have got a bit older now, but
Mm-hmm.
she's 3, is she, Princess?
I believe so, yeah.
Would you have bothered if your 3-year-old wanted a wee to take them into a pub rather than just in the gutter?
I might have if I was constantly being paparazzi'd, I think.
Well, that's true.
Even Boz, if Boz says to me now I need a wee, all that thing of going into a place and how sniffy they are if you're not buying a drink or
Yeah.
I just say, just go buy that car then, go in the drain. Why
Right.
not? Dogs do it. People are fine with that.
True.
They are. They're
Well, you
absolute-
say that. People
they're-
aren't fine with it.
I mean-
It turns out when you do it on their front garden. I'm discovering.
No, but if you
If
would
they do it
never,
against
you would
a
never
wheelie
hear
bin.
anyone say, "Oh, don't let your dog wee on
No.
the
You're
pavement."
right. And I think a lot of the rules that we apply to animals should apply to my children. So it's
No, but
very
look,
similar. It's very
I
similar.
just say, why should dogs get
Yeah.
away with it if kids? I think he's
No,
absolutely
you're right.
fine. He's 6.5
And
now.
the foxes.
I'm really happy with him weaning the thing.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, I'm not anti-dogs. Don't get me wrong.
He is anti-dog.
I'm not. We'll be glad of them come the post-no deal Brexit famine.
You go near my Raymond.
Yeah.
Well, he's not. He's.
Get the slow cooker out for the whippet.
You
I wouldn't want to get your dog get stuck in my teeth. Whole.
Wow.
I tell you, we could end up eating dogs if there's a no deal. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
But that's what I've read in the New Statesman.
I'll tell you what
On the
I
toilet.
feel sorry for is the headline writers for the tabloids when the royal family stopped for a wee in Stockwell. Like it's a mile from Waterloo. That would
I
have been
know.
so good for them.
Oh, it's so
If
close.
it was Waterloo.
The thing is, though,
But I fourth in line to the
Brutal.
throne. I don't think they'd have beat that one.
No.
Probably
That
not.
was-
you really have
What
time.
about what about Royal Flush?
Oh yeah,
Lovely.
they went for the
They
royal
didn't-
wee
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, they
the
went for
Royal
the-
Way. They went
Yeah.
for the Royal Way.
The thing about the pubs now, though.
What about Kate Piddleton? Is that all right?
That is good.
Where's the manual?
That's very good. I like
Well,
it.
it's not even in. They don't even mention it in the manual. It's just an archaic. So
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
228 has texted in. Sometimes while on the toilet, I use wet wipes at the end. The other day, my girlfriend walked past and heard rustling of the packet and assumed I was eating crisps while sat on the toilet.
would that have been a bad thing? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Just moving slightly away from toilet talk. I'm
think-
I don't know. I started it, but I'm swooning a bit.
All right.
One thing in the Daily Mail, they had a list of royals in toilet type stories.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, a lot of them have been suppressed, but the one that got through,
The best ones.
yeah, that Prince Charles, when he was 14, he. I know it's impossible to imagine that he was ever 14. Possible.
He always had the same hair, though.
He always,
Respect.
yeah, same suit. And he escaped from his security.
Oh,
Look at this,
yeah.
Frank.
And he went to a pub in Scotland
Yes.
and ordered a cherry brandy.
Cherry brandy.
Straight in on the cherry
lived.
Yeah.
Imagine going to a pub in Scotland. Could I have a cherry brandy? Oh! cut to him tarred and feathered in the town square. A lot of people shouting about Culloden. I'll tell you what I thought was weird about it is that the policewoman sat at the bar while the royals went into the toilet and said to the locals, apparently warned the locals, no pictures.
Right.
Oh, did she?
Can you do that?
I suppose it depends on how dangerous seeming you are.
Well, I just mean that the term public house suggests, and it's your camera, it's not illegal, is it, to take a picture of the princess and her daughter passing through the...
Sorry to be boring, but I believe it is.
It's
on
illegal.
Private premises, yeah.
Oh.
I
Public
believe
house?
So. Oh.
Yes, good point.
Privately owned, though. I believe it is.
I just think they could have said, no, we are going to take a photograph of her.
We should really put this to our legal team, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
I like
Where
when...
is our legal team this week?
I've wondered.
I think they might be in the basement. Hold on, are you... Oi! You guys down there? Yeah, never mind that. We've got a legal... Where's that trap door? I mean, drunk. Completely drunk. That's the legal profession for you. And then there's going to be a 2-week recess. And then I have to turn up and just give my name and address, and then there's another week. Sanity.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alun Cochrane. You can follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
Michael... sorry, Al.
Go on, no, please.
Oh, I like it when we do that.
Do you?
Yeah, it's nice.
Supposed to go Wordsworth Longfellow, I think.
Are you?
Oh, are you?
I think so.
Oh, that's when he taught English. He's clever.
Yes.
No, I think it's from a Laurel and Hardy film.
Oh. Michael Coffey has been in touch, Frank.
No way.
All our coffee chat this morning.
Thank God, I needed that coffee.
Oh, I need
Go on,
a
what?
vat of coffee
He's
before
the
I can...
only if it's his real name,
Yeah.
he's the only person with the surname Coffey I've heard of. Is it spelled double E?
Well, I'll tell you, yes, it is. But then his Twitter handle is interesting because it's Michael T. Coffey.
Tea, coffee.
Well,
Coffee.
interesting.
No, it's just
Oh.
that the sheriff in Bonanza was called Roy Coffey.
Oh.
And all the other Coffeys, like the famous English comedy actress Denise Coffey, spelt it with an EY.
Correct. Don't know any other ones. Really? Anyway,
me neither.
Michael T. Coffey.
Yeah.
I'd love it if he'd have constructed that handle just for us this morning. He says, "Hi gang, it's a bit afternoon radio, but did you know that E.T. in the film E.T. actually has a name? It's Zrek. Who knew? Love to you all, Michael."
Zrek.
No, I never knew. Where has he got that information from?
You sound immediately suspicious.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen the film a few times. I don't remember him being referred to.
Perhaps it's not referred to. Perhaps this is one of those facts and, you know, it didn't end up in the final film.
Well, if it's not in the final film, it's not canon.
Okay, ball. It's Zrek, anyway.
Zrek?
Yeah, Z-R-E-K.
Maybe it is in the, you know, when he calls his home thingy.
Oh, I can't bear it.
Phone
This
home.
makes me cry so much.
Does it?
Spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't seen it. He phones
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
We've
Terrible physique, E.T.
E.T.?
Yeah. It's like mine, like
What?
narrow little shoulders and chest and then quite a pot belly.
Well, what's unfair about E.T.'s physique? I mean, it is quite an elderly gentleman, Frank. He's got the legs, but the stomach
No,
lets him down.
no,
Oh,
but he's
yeah.
quite scrawny up top as well. He needs some upper body work.
yeah.
He's got a 6-pack, hasn't he? An 8-pack.
Has he?
Well, he's let it go, though.
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to Google him.
Can't
again.
remember
Terrible
it.
shoulders as well.
Oh, yeah. He'd be no good with a parrot.
No. We've got several different
Too close to the
conversational.
ear. Sorry.
We've got several different conversational plates spinning, and
Yeah.
and 104 has texted an answer to 2. Temporary traffic lights are motion sensors, not light.
Okay.
Because, you know, I said that some
Oh,
people
yeah.
flash them to try and get them to turn green. And TVs were rented, hence the repairman.
Yes.
Yeah, we know.
Of course.
I didn't mean to sound quite so aggressive. Sorry.
Do people not rent anymore then?
Don't rent anything. Well, also, people don't buy goods for life anymore, Frank.
No.
So, with the tumble dryer, for example...
They do at my age.
Got enough pencils, haven't you? Forever.
I've got enough shoes I've worked out now. I mean, I'm ticking them off. Soon the pleasure of shopping will be gone altogether. Newspaper, I suppose.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
639 has texted, I will guess hands, Graham, and I think that may be your unusual texting.
If you hang a chimpanzee, what hangs lower?
Yeah.
Hands or feet? Oh, that's interesting that
so it's
hands.
not zero take-up. I felt compelled to tell you.
No, I'm glad
639
someone answered that. You'd think somebody would have seen a chimpanzee hanging.
Maybe.
Well, from a tyre, maybe.
Yeah, but then they're sitting on a tyre, so their feet would be raised. They need to be completely relaxed.
Very flat-footed.
Someone's texted me a little joke.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Hi, Frank, Emily and Alan. On the subject of predictive text, I said that my phone corrected mea culpa to mea cuppa. And on the subject of predictive text and bringing primates into the conversation, the man who invented predictive text has died. His funfair is next monkey.
Yeah,
See what he's done there?
Very fine.
Thanks, Trev.
Very
They should
fine.
put that on a little blue plaque, which they should have for him with all the incorrect words. I like that.
I like it.
Frank, we've had a text in about tax evasion.
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
More tips? I've already had tips for traffic offended.
Yeah.
This is from Bradley in Northampton.
Okay, it's gone to his head since he's been on Doctor Who.
He says, to Frank, Alan and Emily, let's try and not give free advertising to tax evaders. I mean, I should say I'm imposing tone on this, but instead of saying Google it...
Oh, I thought it was I said Jimmy Carr gave me a throat coat. Do you remember that? Earlier in the show.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
We should say he has paid that money back, okay?
Yeah, fair play. And I'm sure he
Play is great.
I'm sure he paid for his throat coat as well and very kindly gave them to me.
Instead of saying Google it, I'm suggesting to friends that we use the term internet search. Long-term reader, praise withheld.
And I think just for the legal team, we should probably say that avoidance is legal and evasion is illegal. So you should probably put tax avoiders into your...
Yes, very good point.
Yeah, but you know, there's what's more important, legal or moral?
Well,
Text in 8 12
I think,
15.
exactly.
I think if you're in court, legal.
Yeah, probably. Almost, well, definitely. But then you've only got to go in to give your name and address, then you get a week off. I mean, it's the best hours. Oh, go in the legal profession, those are the hours. Going.
Those are the
Name,
hours.
address. Anyway, what do we say? Week Thursday? Amazing. Absolutely amazing. What a job.
What job specifically are you referring to?
Well, just
The judges?
Just a legal
Judges'
thing.
houses?
It's incredible. Like, you know, somebody commits a crime. And then, like 2 years later, the case is coming up for that thing. What have they been doing? How can it possibly take that long? Well, it's because they go in and say, "Yeah, we'll read this file." Okay, let's meet again in 2 weeks, and we'll have another little read of it.
Another little read of it.
Absolute nonsense.
Like a child with the gruffalo. We'll have another little read of it, shall we?
George Carman QC having a little read.
So, shall we try banning the term Google it and see how it goes?
Yeah, good luck.
Okay.
It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
How will we find out how it goes?
It's one of our catchphrases.
Oh, yeah, well, we find out. That's a very good point. We could.
What are the alternatives?
We could ask.
We had it cozier for a while, didn't we?
Shall we ask Jeeves?
I don't think anybody
Yeah,
asked
let me
Jeeves
just
anything.
go back to 1997.
We'll probably find Bertie Worcester's paid him cash in hand. We can't use him either.
Jeeves is sat in a room playing solitaire these days, isn't he? He's so
Is he?
bored.
Oh, no one asked Jeeves. People have started saying, "I'm going to ask him." Toffee, the host. Well, the thing is, when you asked Jeeves, you actually used to type in a question. It's really weird.
I loved Austin. Yeah, Jeeves had more of a-
Yahoo, people used to do.
Oh, yeah.
It's all a bit posh, isn't it? Ask Jeeves and Yahoo.
Yeah. See, that's why we've gone for the G word.
Maybe they were
Yeah.
keeping it real.
Well, we'll have a think. We can just say search engine
Yeah.
about that.
All right.
It's not as good, though, is it?
No.
It feels
Search
like the sort of
engine,
thing. Search engine might feel like the technical term for Guinevere on the lottery show.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, can I talk about this extreme grandpa?
Oh, yes, talk about him. What is he, 90?
Obsessed.
Is he 90 or 91?
He's just
91
turned
now.
91. He's called... Is he called John Carter?
John Carter.
Yeah.
Oh,
Unstoppable.
I love that film. Everyone hated that film. I really liked it. Do you remember it?
Get
Don't
Carter.
remember it.
John Carter was, it was a...
You were really
right,
into it.
haven't I?
No,
It was
you're
Disney.
right. It was a Disney thing, yes.
Yeah, it was based on the Edgar Rice Burroughs.
Yeah.
It was Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
The thing about John Carter is it's just not a good name for a Disney film.
No,
Right.
but
I can't imagine the children going, oh, I love John
yeah, but
Carter.
the books I think are called things like John Carter, Man of Mars, and stuff like
Okay.
that, which gives you a bit more inkling of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. I remember
Sounds
you
a bit
liking it
Scientology.
and other people not liking it.
No,
I do
people
remember
hated it.
that.
In fact, I think it's one of the biggest money-losing films of all time.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, I always think if a lot of people like something, it's probably rubbish.
Right.
Okay.
Top Gear.
What about Three Lions?
I don't think.
I love that song.
What about Three Lions?
Okay.
Obviously, there's
Okay.
exceptions to every rule.
There are.
There
There
you
are.
go. Don't take me on. He gets up at 5 a.m. every day, John Carter.
Well, everyone who's 91 does that. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hang on a sec. Hang on a
They've
minute.
already got up about 4 times before that.
Yeah, but what I like about him, he's not one of those go to bed at 8:30s. He's in the gym at 8:30 p.m. He's not, you know when you call people's houses and it's like 20 past 8? Hello, I was in bed.
Right,
How
yeah,
old are you?
Yeah,
Weird.
that's our house.
I don't like
Sandra.
that, Frank. Sleep when you're dead. He does backflips off the diving board. He runs.
I mean, he does a backflip. I watched the vid. Did you watch the video?
Yes.
He does a backflip, but he does one of those where you don't go in fingers first. You just land literally on your back, flat
Oh,
on
yeah.
the water like that. At 91, now your bones, age 91, is like an arrow.
Yeah.
Is that right?
An old bloke like that landing in the water, it'd be like dropping a soluble aspirin into water. He could just completely dissolve. Imagine him like at the bottom of the pool, really bobbling. You know that incredible frenzy.
Barocca.
I have to say, I get so excited if I have any soluble. I always have. I have this fantasy in my head, and I always go. I always go through this that they were like in their little envelopes, the solubles, going, oh, another lovely relaxed day. Oh, what's this? Oh, looks like we're going for a swim. I always imagine that. But I mean, 91 landing flat, and he showed her his back was all red where he'd landed on the
Well,
water.
also, apparently, he lost his false teeth a couple of times.
Disgusting.
The
pool.
lifeguard found it in the
In the
pool,
pool,
didn't he?
yeah.
Oh.
It's a shame.
It is a shame.
He said his greatest moment was he was doing his diving off the board stuff, and he heard a child say, I think he's a lifeguard disguised as an old man.
Yeah.
I wish they did that. And they're like store detectives. So they just do one called with like a suit on or something like that. So when
Prosthetics.
So if you fall in, you
Yeah.
can't swim, you actually think you're going to drown. And just let them go through that panic, and then suddenly sound of Velcro,
Yeah.
suits coming off, and in they go.
Yeah, yeah.
They have to be so up front. It's like the speed cameras.
Yeah.
Why not be hidden?
Well, they were hidden, weren't they, at first? And now they're
He
Were they?
out and in there, yeah.
He used to swim with polar bears, John Carter.
Did they?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah,
Rubbish.
he's in Canada. They do that sort of stuff a lot over
There's
there.
no polar
thought he
bears
was in
in
Australia.
Canada. is
I
there?
got it
He
wrong.
used to swim with polar bears.
Did he?
No. Have you ever
reckon-
seen that? What's the name
Get
of
it
that?
up on an internet search of
What's
some
that
sort.
Sky drama? Fortitude.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
I've seen it.
First
No.
5 minutes, a bloke's ripped to pieces by a polar bear.
Yeah,
Okay.
Witnessed by, I think, Michael Gambon.
that's right.
Yeah.
He can't have been much help.
No,
No.
what are you going to
Wonderful
do?
actor, but, he's not going to be any help with a polar bear.
What are you going to do? You don't see him coming, do you, in the snow?
Well, he's no Tom Cruise.
The whole line, no.
He would help. If a polar bear was about to, set about me, I think Tom Cruise would be a good person. I think he'd help you.
But he wouldn't give you an anaesthetic. That's a fact.
Tom Cruise. Oh, right.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
So we're talking about this extreme grandpa
Yeah.
who's 91 now. I got so obsessed with it. I watched a behind the scenes
No.
of it. And it's actually filmed by his grandson.
Kind of.
Grandson by marriage is the
Ah,
grandson.
right.
Right. I didn't take to the grandson.
I didn't either, Frank. I loathed him, in fact.
I was
strong words.
being nice, but I hated him as
I
well.
hated him.
Well, I had a bit of a problem with John Carter.
Did you?
Well, at the start, there's a bit of a voiceover where he's talking about how active he is. He drives his car. He drives into a disabled bay, gets out with his sticks, and then throws them away and starts running. And I thought, benefit cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no,
He's
he's a
allowed.
braggart.
Well, he said it
He is
was.
a braggart. He's constantly going on about how fit he is. But I think
Well,
he's been led
parking
into
a
that
normal
by
bit.
Well, the grandson has led him into it because
Oh, really?
Well, we'll talk
If
about
you're
the grandson.
91, you can park in a disabled bay, surely.
Well, I think he is a bit of a git because he said of his grandson, he said he sure did love coming up here. To find a subject like me was pretty priceless for him.
Yeah, but he's 91. He doesn't know what he's saying. But he's,
Frank, you say that, but the grandson, what I didn't like was when the grandson said to him, he doesn't even know Instagram.
well, he said
He's
to
90.
him. He said, "So what are you on Twitter?" And he goes, "What?" And he goes, you on Instagram?" And he goes, "Instagram? What?" And then at the end, he said, "So what are you going to say at the end of this film?" And he said, "Well, we've had a really lovely time making this film. We've made some nice Instagrams." Because he's trying to join in. He doesn't. And he goes, "Hey, you don't even know what Instagram is." I think this is like senior baiting. Why has this bloke made the film if he's
I
so
know.
vile?
I know. Also, he knows more than you thickhead.
Exactly. Exactly. You've made a stupid film.
This stupid baseball cap.
Yeah, exactly. Like your Spielberg. And you come on and insult the goose that's laid the golden egg. It's probably laid a few in the bottom of that pool. Oh, anyway, so if you look into John Carter and his fabulous old man stroke young man lifestyle, at the end, because it's not until the end, the evil
thickhead comes off.
the evil step grandson. Don't even listen to him. He's at Christmas as well. What a way to treat. It's like the old days when there used to be 10 pints of milk outside the house. No one knocked on the door. Really, it's upset me, that thing at the end. He doesn't even know what Instagram is. Oh, so what? Oh, that's a good test of intelligence, mate. Instagramps. That's what you should get on to. There you go. What if you just said that? Well, I know what Instagramps is, so why don't you come around here again? I'll use those sticks on your dumb head. That would have been a good ending. Speaking of good endings, how are we going to get out this link?
I don't know.
Yeah, so I like
Any
John.
thoughts, Al?
Like John Carter.
No thoughts. Oh, somebody's texted telling us there is no Travis Perkins. I know this because I met Mr. Perkins once and he told me he was the Perkins half of the firm.
Oh, Dave Lee Travis, the other one will be.
Travis Perkins.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Why?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
all right, isn't
Okay.
he?
That's good info.
Is he all right? Oh, where's Jeeves?
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
While we're on the subject of the older man,
Yeah.
I would like to talk about some other big news that's just come out this week.
Oh, yes.
It's big fashion news. I mean, it's not going to be a surprise to either of you, because you'll already be familiar with the resort wear collection of Balenciaga for 2019.
Right across
yeah.
it. Right across it.
Is autumn winter?
No, nearly, darling.
What is it then?
A resort wear.
Resort
So
wear.
you have spring, summer. You have autumn, winter.
Last resort wear, more like it. I've never even heard of him before. What's he
Resort
called?
wear is a bit like
What's he called?
Balenciaga. It's not a he; it's the label.
Yeah,
Oh.
but is it not named after a person?
Yeah, there would have been an original Balenciaga. I think it's French, but the
I think it's a
person.
mate of Travis Perkins.
Well, on that subject, 782 has texted, it used to be two separate companies some 30 years ago, Travis Arnold and Sandal Perkins. There we go.
Oh,
I thought it was-
what's Arnold Sandal?
Keeping you
how's that
updated
going?
on 30-year-old business news.
Oh, Sandal Arnold. Sandal Arnold sounds like yodeling. Sandal Arnold.
So the boot cut, Gene, it's back for men. Okay.
Can I ask you a technical? I know you no
Sure.
longer work in the fashion industry, but you still keep
I have a relationship with it in the sense that you have a relationship with football. It's not my main source of income now, but it's there. Okay.
What is the difference between a boot cut jean and a flare?
Great question.
Thanks.
You're a great man. If you'll find with the flare, Frank, the flare begins, I would say, above the knee. Do you see
Yes.
it widens higher up? The boot cut, I would say, is quite a right angle affair. You get down to the legs, suddenly, what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you see? So I would say,
Okay.
if you want to think of a boot cut, think of the male ice skater trouser.
Yes.
Okay?
Oh, yes.
My problem with the boot cut is that I think it sort of leaves out too many varieties of the boot. Like,
The moon boot?
I can't get my
Orthopedic?
boot cut jeans over my waders
Oh, yeah.
or my galoshes.
What is the idea of the boot cut? That you can take them off without taking your boots off?
Yes, it was originally
Is it?
started, I believe, as when men wore slightly more platform soles. So I call it a bit
thought
of
it
a
was for
pitch
cowboy
invader.
boots to let them up the shin.
Yes, it's so that you can wear any sort of boots
Yeah,
underneath.
but why would you want to take your trousers off and leave your boots on unless you're in a 1970s sex comedy? Why would you do that? I need to get these jeans up. I'm keeping the old cowboy boots on now because there's a bit of shingle coming up.
It's not great news, but what I would say,
Do you not like them?
of course I don't, revolting, but it is preferential. I do like the move away from the skinny jean.
Oh,
men,
the skinny jean.
What I call the medieval jester's look. Don't like that, Frank.
No, you don't like the skinny jean.
Well, do
okay.
you?
Well, I think some people, they look really good on. I'm surprised at some of the people who take them on, I must admit.
Oh, yeah.
Some people they'd be better off in a flare.
Yeah.
I just think...
If you get people with what I would call prodigal son legs, do you know what I mean? When they have a fatted calf. I think they're better in a flare. You see some of those people in
Yeah.
a skinny jean and you think, whoa, was it Henry VIII? Calm down.
I just worry, men that wear skinny jeans, I just don't, I worry, I don't know if I should say this, I'll probably get in trouble.
Go on.
I just think they might look like they'll be the sort of man you'd go on a date with and then they'd mispronounce a word and you'd think, oh no.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they'd say you were Zanny or something.
I like the bloke. So if you're gonna wear like a cowboy boot or a pole dark boot, tuck in, go the whole hog and tuck in.
The whole boss hog.
Yeah, I think that's great. Can I ask you one last question?
Sure.
When I read this article, it said amongst the range of trousers that what's he called? Bialystok.
No, Balenciaga is the
Beelzebub.
label name, and then the creative director of Balenciaga
Yeah.
is called Dima Vasali, I think it is.
Okay. Well,
He also popularised platform Crocs.
Platform Crocs.
Yes. Okay.
But it said that they also do cargo pants.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what are they?
they're what we used to call combat trousers, aren't they?
Alan.
Yeah.
You see, I thought they might be incontinence pants. Just got a bit of cargo. But it'll...
That's what John Carter wears for his diving.
Stay there till I get home. I'll unload that when I get in. Anyway, thank you. In my end is my beginning. Thank you so much for listening today. If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Be seeing you.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.